Here are 5 proven game-changing hacks to enter flow state fast, starting with number 1. So I'm sat at my computer about to start, but I was in the situation you're probably in right now. I could not begin. Basically, there's a thing called attentional space. This is how your brain focuses on things. But the reason you cannot focus is because something is in its way. This is why you can't lock in. But lucky for you, with the 5 hacks I'm going to show you, you'll shoot into flow state instantly without even breaking a sweat. So let's go back to this little circle. Through hours of research and reading, I found out what's getting in the way. So here I was sitting in my own despair, getting mad at myself because I could not work. But in my head, there was a battle raging. I was constantly thinking about why I can't start, just staring at the screen, contemplating. This is a scenario we all find ourselves in. But here's the thing. This circle is why you can't begin. Allow me to explain. With this circle, you can only fit so many things into it until it fills up. But when you're contemplating, you make the task much bigger than the circle, meaning your brain will think it's way too hard. Now you're probably wondering, what's the solution? Well, it's actually incredibly easy. In a pit of rage, I asked for help. I thought I was going to get nothing in return, but that's when my friend gave me this golden rule. Listen here. Stop thinking, just do. Think about it. You're stressing over one small task. Yet, if you just went in, you would have gotten into it already. And I can tell you, after I took this advice, I entered into flow state in a matter of seconds, getting pages of work done in 2 hours. So that's the first one. But now it's time for the second hack. Let me ask you a question. How long do you spend procrastinating? I'm asking you this because there's a reason you can't get started. Let's go back to the circle again. If you hadn't noticed, this is what it looks like when you're procrastinating. You see that? When your face is in your palms as you delay the task, it's not because you're a procrastinator, it's because your attention is filled up. There's so many things you could be focusing on, yet you're choosing to focus on the fact that you can't focus. What are you doing? This is why 95% of people procrastinate every day. But lucky for you, if you make this one change, you'll enter flow state like it's nothing. So it's February this year and I am stressed. My back feels uneasy from the chair as I've spent hours stuck. And I had to get this assignment done by tomorrow. Time was ticking. But that's when I realized something. If you've been in this scenario before, you'll know what I'm talking about. Dozens of tabs opened, a friend messaging you, the noise around you gets louder. There's too much to focus on. In fact, let me show you something. If we look at your attention, it looks like this. It's full, but there's a reason I'm showing you this. If you want to enter flow state, you need it to look like this. Not only is there one task, but it fills up the entire thing. So how do you do this? Well, it's simple. First, remove distractions. Distractions fill up your attention. Not good. Second, open up the task and make sure that it feels challenging. The more challenging, the bigger the ball. I'll explain how to do this later. And third, just start working. Now, if you're in a good flow state, it should look like this. But if you're not, then that's when we face another hurdle. Luckily, that's when we get into the third hack. So have you ever had this happen to you? It's the afternoon and you just got home from school. You want to relax and boot up a game. After all, it was a long day, right? It was very stressful. But you have one small issue. Homework is due tomorrow. You know this is important and that you should do it. So you think to yourself, I'm going to do my homework today. But as the day passes, you never end up touching it. Why is that? Well, this right here is what's stopping 99% of people from entering flow state. To explain, let's go back to 2015. 10 years ago, I was sat on the chair at my dining room. This is where I would always play my computer and mess around. And in front of me was a laptop. Next to this laptop was my homework. Oh, whoops. The lighting went out. Simply because things not plugged in. Oh, well, I can edit this in my spare time. Ugh. Anyway, that was awkward. But on the screen was Terraria booted up, a video game. I want you to guess what happens next. Do I A, get my homework done before I play the game like a good boy? Or do I B, ignore my homework altogether and just play Terraria? Well, the answer should be obvious to you. It's B, but why did I do this? Well, that's because your brain has a bias. Basically, your brain will prioritize certain tasks above others. For example, if you had to pick between saving your kid from a house fire or get an assignment done, you would save your kid. However, this bias has been hijacked by psychologists through video games, social media, and content addiction. And it's why you're more likely to choose gaming over doing homework. Now this leaves us with a massive problem. Your brain doesn't want to work. It would rather waste time. So what are we going to do about it? Well, lucky for you, we can actually manipulate this bias ourselves to get into flow state instantly. This is what I want you to do. Write down what you're going to do, right? And what you want to achieve. Or right below it, you're going to write down why you want to do it. And this part is important, okay? You don't want to be lazy with it and write something vague. Something like, because I need to. You want this why to be as personal as possible. You can talk about how painful it would be if you didn't do this, or you can make it competitive. For example, the reason why I wake up every day to write YouTube scripts and get videos done is because I want financial destiny. I want to compete with others. And not only that, it would be so painful if I just skipped out and was lazy the entire day. The reason you want to do this is because the more personal the why is, the stronger. And when your why is very strong, your brain can't help but want to do it. Now, those are the first 3 hacks. But now we're on to the last 2, the most effective hacks in this video. Now for the 4th one, there's a way of focusing that's actually better than flow state. It's when you're so dialed in that you're able to get pages of work done in minutes. This is called hyperfocus. So how do we enter hyperfocus? Well, I'm going to bring you back to the attention circle because this will show you how it works. So imagine you're working, right? You're typing away on your laptop, but problem is you can't dial in. Well, you have 2 things distracting you: Discord messages and scrolling. At the moment, this is what your attention looks like. The problem here is that your main task does not have enough room, stopping you from entering hyperfocus. But what if we remove those distractions? Okay, so now you're able to focus better, but it's still not good enough. You need one more requirement to make it hyperfocus, and that thing is called task difficulty. You see, you need your attention to look like this. The circle has been fully occupied by the task. And the way to do this is to make the task more difficult. But how do we do that? Well, here are 3 steps to enter hyperfocus. 1. You need intention. This is kind of similar to the part where I spoke about the why. Attention and intention are required for each other. If you go into a task without an intention to do it, you're going to fail. So before you start the task, you need to give it meaning. You could go to the gym because you're sad that your biceps aren't big enough. Or you could work on your assignment because it's due tomorrow and you do not want to disappoint your parents. If the intention feels productive, then you'll enter hyperfocus easily. 2. Make the intention more specific. I want you to look at this list. This is a list of goals someone wants to get done today. Notice something off about them? Well, they're very vague. They kind of don't mean anything. If your goals are vague, your brain won't know what it's doing, so you're less inclined to do them. But now look at this list. What makes this list different is how direct it is. Now your brain will fully understand what it wants to do. So you want to make your goals as direct and specific as possible. And for the 3rd step, time. I want you to do this with me and see what happens. Before starting the task, set a timer. This could be 30 minutes to 2 hours. But during this time, challenge yourself to get the most done until the timer runs out. This technique is called the 30-minute rule, or the timer rule. The reason this works is because you're giving your brain a challenge. You're making it more challenging. Get this much done before this time. Now, that's the 4th one, but now it's on to the 5th hack. On the first one, I spoke about how sometimes the tasks might be too big. This is what's known as the magnifying effect. However, there's another way you can make the tasks way easier. Let's say you have to do a 2,000-word assignment in 2 days. Sounds impossible, right? Well, that was me 2 months ago. The task seemed so difficult that there was no way in hell I could get this done in 2 days. But then the unthinkable happened. I completed the task in no time. It was so effortless. So how did I manage to do this? Well, I made the task easier by shrinking its difficulty. Basically, I thought the assignment was going to be hard. It sounded complex. I had to do this market analysis where I had to compare 2 different companies and all this stuff. But afterwards, I made it sound easy by just simply finding easy ways to complete the task. Like, I found that each section can be done in an easy format. I used different search tools to get what I wanted. When you make the task easier, your brain will finally want to do it. But there's one more problem in your way. If you didn't know, there's a massive hurdle that's stopping you from locking in. I hid this from you because you need to understand everything about it. Basically, your focus is being taken away from you, and there's only one way to stop it. To find out, click on this video, subscribe, and keep never quitting.